What's going on? So I thought I'd show, I'm just getting set up on my process for finishing here. And if you're hand plane guys, you'll love this. But so this is going to be a white cedar countertop. Right now it's about 11 feet long. I'm actually going to cut about a foot off the end of both sides. This side's still drying. In this opening here, it's going to be a beer cooler. I got it sized with about 1/8 of an inch on both sides for the beer cooler to fit in. It'll fit in flush with the top. It's kind of stainless steel and going to have 2 taps coming out of it. It's white cedar. I think I said that. And it's got natural front edge all the way across. This is all the boards were hand jointed. I had to break the slabs down myself. It's cedar that we milled a couple of years ago. Guy had some half blowdowns and he was getting ridiculous quotes from some big companies, so he knew my wife and asked us if we'd be interested. So we took the trees down, milled them and cleaned them up. They're dry now. And what I'm doing is I'm getting my system down for cleaning up the glue lines. So just was taking some passes. I got Shelton number 9 here, and I haven't sharpened that one today. It did have a couple of shavings in it, so I'm not sure exactly how perfect it is, but it's shaving really nice. It's making nice sounds, so I want to show it. And I've also got my Bailey number 3. It's got the lateral adjuster broken off it, but I prefer the tap method anyway, to be honest with you. And that one's sharp because I really never use it. So just want to take a couple passes. I got the Stanley up here. I'm just using a bevel down to scrape off any of the, or very carefully scrape off any of the glue to avoid any tear out. And I've been planning on this. You can see all the shavings. One of the reasons why I wanted to do this is the one time in the world that I can think of as a joiner that I want to take the finest shavings possible, just because this white cedar is so soft and I don't have the opportunity to change directions to accommodate for grain. Now one good question is I haven't set the see what the cap irons sell like on this one, because yeah, it's set pretty tight anyway. Let's see if you guys, how you can see that seam over there. Let's take a couple passes and let you hear. Like I said, I haven't sharpened this one today, and I'll probably sharpen them both up after I take those clamps off the other side. But what I'm doing is I'm evening out the glue joints, and eventually I'll kind of plane the whole thing smooth. And taking some of the glue off too. And like I said, I don't know my grain direction. I mean, I can probably feel it. And I know obviously if I switch to the other side of this board, the grain's running the other way. So let's just do it quick and just feel where my high spots are. If you're going to get tear out, you're going to get it on something like this, because stuff is so soft, so I don't want to tear out any big spots. So I'm taking, the absolute finest ribbons of shavings here, just because I'm afraid of tearing anything out. I'm going to coat this with not exactly sure what I'm going to use yet, but it's going to be either polyurethane or some sort of bar top epoxy kind of thing. I don't know if this is going to do this justice. Let me make sure you can see where that is. I'm going to put that in there for a second. I have a tendency to get out of frame. I don't know how well, it's going to tell you at how fine a shaving I'm taking. Both these irons have a ridiculously small camber on them, and it's perfect for doing this. There's absolutely no tear out, so that's nice. Every now and then I'm going to kind of squeak across to take off the hump that you're making over there too. Should be a nice little thing I'm going to have to repair. There's still some glue on this too. Like I said, I'm just getting started, so just where it pulled that glue right there, a little bit of, I can't tell if that's tear out from me scraping it or not. Because I did go across with this scraper that I used to take off glue, and when I was pulling the glue off, it was starting to tear out a little bit. Just take a look and see if I can start taking it down a little bit. Thick shit in there. Just try and take off that hump that I was running into with the 23. Wood ripper iron and Shelton is absolutely not getting any tear out at all. You can imagine the inherent problems of trying to sand something like this out. Trying to ride these ridges and sand these out, which just wouldn't come out very even. So this is the best way to take the ridges out and keep it smooth. You just can't have any tear out. Like I said, I'm just getting my system down. When you ride across and you don't take anything, you're taking a trough out. So really kind of going to move to sides and find where your hump is when you're taking something this fine as shave down. You got to take those humps off so you can register, so you don't have to keep advancing the iron and take a chance at digging in and gouging out. And when I get really set up to go forward with this, I'll have this pushed over and work on one side and do the other side. I'll go across the whole thing. I will try to pay attention if I can see a spot where it's tearing out. I will try to pay attention and change direction if I can, but as you can imagine, it's something this big and it's all glued together. You can't just look at the end grain, and that's taking that shaving right dead in the middle. You can see how it's feathered off on both sides. There's just a teeny bit of camber on it. So I do that when I go across the seam and I don't take a shaving and the seam's high. Clean off the high spots, but little by little I will take all these seams down to perfect. Make sure I plane off the glue so it doesn't show through the finish. You can imagine it would. I didn't wipe any of the glue or anything. I just let it pretty much get set up just before hardening, and then just took it off when it was just before dry. As far as working with a plane, this is the one time, like I said, that I can think of that I want to take the finest wisp of shaving. This isn't the fastest way to do it, but it is the best way to do it. Because it'll make the surface perfectly smooth, versus if you sanded it, it would all be like this. The other thing I don't know if you can see, but for you guys that like to keep your sharpen your plane irons on a jig and talk about how flat and smooth you want them, I don't know if this camera will pick this up, but I'm going to show you anyway, because I can see exactly where I've planed and where I haven't. And so if you can see right here, so this plane comes across, there's a teeny low spot right here, so it's missing that, and it's picking up this high spot here and taking it off. And there's absolutely no plane tracks in it, zero. And there's this little dinky thing of tear out I'm trying to work through right here, which is just minimal. I mean, you know, it'd be 3 seconds with a piece of sandpaper, but I've got a lot of, there's a little bit of a ridge here, and you can still see the glue, so I got to come down to where that's perfectly smooth. Then you can see back here where I haven't touched it yet because it's way out, sitting out in the air. And it changes from being high here to high on this side. So just kind of want to show you what the process is like. And this will be beautiful when it's done. But I mean, this is just like a piece of glass right now. Absolutely no plane tracks. This section here where I first started just kind of testing on the planes to make sure I wasn't going to get any tear out was really high on this side right here, and it's almost perfect now. I just got a few passes. It's a little bit of a bump there, and you can still see the glue. So the glue showing me where the bump is. If you look here, there's no glue, perfectly smooth. Here, a little bit of glue and a little bit of hump. So I'm gonna work through all this. Work across the front. This is where the tear out came in. So as I was scraping the glue off, the glue's stronger than the wood, and glue ripped out a couple chunks. So I had to deal with that in a couple of spots, like right in front of the chisel right here. There's a little bit, and I'll have to do that side too. But it's really, once you get the planes dialed in, it doesn't take super long as you're careful. You know, I'm going slow because I'm really watching you don't want to end up, you know, these spots here are not tear out from the plane. They tear out from the planer. When I surface these, I only surface one side. I don't know if you can see the bottom or not, but you can see the bottom, what they look like before they went through the other planer. You know, and this is a countertop, so this will all be down. But I only surface one side. And, you know, the planer itself tears chunks out. Now, all that's not going to go away, but it will get filled in with poly or whatever I put on top. And like I said, those seams were all hand jointed. Even this long seam right here, it's 11 feet long. This was hand jointed. And I took the live edge piece and I actually did a sprung joint. So the live edge piece was actually bowed like this with a number 4. So when I put clamp pressure in the middle, it, you know, made it perfect. And I can't tell. There's so much glue on it that it's hard to show you, but I don't know if you can see the seam here. And this is the seam that my finger's running across. You can barely even see it. There's no way that I can run this across a jointer and get a seam like this. Now this is a high spot, so you're seeing a little bit of a shadow here, but where it's trying to find an even spot so you can see how fine the seam is. I mean, it's came out really beautiful. Again, there's a shadow here, so you can see the seam. After I plane this, you won't be able to see the seam. This was actually one slab cut in half with a circular saw. This was not run across the table saw. This was all cut with a circular saw and hand jointed. So I'd probably have to walk around and try and find a place where the seam's not perfect. I'm sure I can. So like I said, these were cut with a circular saw. I mean, you can see shadow there, but there's no gap in the seam at all. This crack in the wood's bigger than any seam on the entire thing. So it's going to be really beautiful when it's done. I guess moral of the story, you can see this area here coming out. It's really going to be awesome when it's done. And that's all from just cleaning up this and what you watch me do there. But yeah, we'll get at it. Keep going. And there'll be more to come. Have a great day.